step right up into the Wonka Watch amusement park. Yes, welcome. An amusement park created by two people who didn't really think they cared about Willy Wonka until they learned a prequel was made, and then they decided we can make a podcast. No, fuck that. We're going to make an amusement park. And so we are on our opening day. We just passed regulations by a hair. We're going to have a fun time. Please sign your waivers right at the door. Okay, welcome. Hi. Tell me about our first customer, our first person attending. Tell me, how are you feeling right now?
Oh my God, I'm feeling incredible. It's so crazy out here. I'm actually from the news station here to report.
Oh boy. So I asked you a question, but now you're going to ask me a question.
I'm going to ask you a question. Now, what's your prime attraction here? What's the real draw for the crowd?
This juicy booty, am I right?
What the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. Welcome to Wonka Watch, everybody. Welcome to Wonka Watch. This episode, we're going to be talking about Willy Wonka in the theme park, the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory ride that was in Alton Towers for like 9 years, like a UK theme park. It's pretty cool. And that's today's discussion. And just like really Wonka excited. Rides in general. It'll be fun and it'll be great.
Or fucking else. If you don't enjoy it, you don't get to go to our amusement park anymore. That's right. You're going to miss out on all the cool rides and all the expensive gift. The expensive gift shop would have fucking rocked your world.
We'll add you to the poster board that you come in that's called like bat. Oh God, this joke was not. Okay, never mind. Joke's not done. Joke's not finished. Not good.
Okay.
Moving on.
Insert joke about us selling booty shorts.
Booty? What? That's nothing. What am I just said a word.
I like that it's like Felicia's taking like live comedy classes because last time
I feel like I'm like an AI learning how to make jokes right now. Like I feel like I'm like procedurally learning how to make jokes.
Hi, welcome to Olive Garden. What can I get for you today? Booty.
It's not even fucking.
I know exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Felicia's spending a whole day trying to make booty the punchline of a joke, but it just keeps not happening. Would you like your change back? Booty.
But despite me being an AI who's still learning comedy, we have some fun, really good Wonka Watch news this week. And this Wonka Watch news isn't about Wonka. It's actually about Wonka Watch itself. It's a Wonka Watch on Wonka Watch. A Wonka Watch. Somehow, we won the Best Comedy Podcast Award from the Quill Podcast Awards. We didn't know we were nominated, so that was nice.
I did.
You did know we were. Okay. I just didn't know.
That's the hilarious part. I thought you kind of. Well, I did. Actually, I knew that we had submissions. I didn't know we had become nominees. Like they apparently released this list of 5 nominees. Had no idea. And then someone else had to tell us we won. Like not through the organization, not anything. Like
we
a day after.
Have had no direct communication with Quill Podcast. Which like really part of me is still like, is this real? Like, do we like? Because it's a niche award, and it's definitely one of those things where it's more like it's kind of more exciting that you got yourself in front of the judges. And we beat a HeadGum podcast, which like I don't want to tear down other podcasts, but that feels real good.
We had enough submissions to at least be considered in the top 5, and then the person who like selected it, the category person, was the head of She Podcasts, which is a huge podcast thing. Like they had experts going through industry leaders.
That's the thing,
selecting it, and that's what puts a spring in my step. I tip my collapsible top hat to you, Felicia, and I'm giving us a pat on the back. That's insane. It's hilarious that we get to say that Wonka Watch is an award-winning podcast. One would never think to say.
God, it's gonna never think to say. Wonka Watch, the award-winning comedy podcast with 110 followers on Instagram.
Like we beat Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, what the fuck? What the fuck are we doing?
And some of this. Guys might not mean it, podcast terms and world is an ambiguous, weird, it's like a murky pond. I understand.
Yeah, but we were very much the underdog, the airbud of the competition. So us getting the win is really good for me. They didn't say a dog could play basketball. No, a Wonka can podcast. What? Okay, never mind. Let's not.
We're workshopping. This is good.
Yeah,
this
we're
is
workshopping.
Good.
The AI is developing. She's working. She's working overtime.
We won the award, and suddenly all of our talents just got sucked away. It actually was this like long game plot. Because they're trying to silence us talking about Wonka. And who's they? I don't know. Check our corkboard.
It's
in
my
the front
therapist.
ticket office. It's both our therapists got together and they said, we need to exchange notes. There's a lot going on here.
This is fucked up. This is
really weird.
I do wonder what fucking episode they listened to. What won us the award? I would pay money to know. Well, I wouldn't pay money. I'm broke. But I'd like to know which episode it was. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like, because how do you judge a podcast? I would feel like 3 to 5 episodes would be fair, right? But I'm proud of us, and I love us, and we're great, and I'm proud of you, and I love you. Tell me something amusing, Felicia.
Amusement park.
Yeah. Booty.
Shut up. Okay. So today we're talking about the Alton Towers, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory ride. I've been excited about doing this episode since the beginning. I've had like kind of a special interest in theme parks for like a long period of my life, like about the development and design of them and like dark rides and shit. So I was like a Disney kid, but in like a weird way where I was like, did you know that on the Great Carousel of Progress, if you look to the right, there's a little dog, you know, like it's like weird shit. Like I was basically
not shock me in the slightest.
A walking Disney fact book. So any sort of theme park thing, so up my alley to such an absurd degree. So learning there was a Wonka theme park ride, I was like, oh, hell fucking yeah. So this ride was open in Alton Towers, which is a British theme park. It's like the UK's like big theme park, you know.
Okay.
It was open from April 1st, 2006, and it closed in 2015. So rest in peace. We will never get to ride this ride, which is a bummer.
Can you imagine if Wonka Watch took an international trip to go on a single ride and we're in line and there's lightning and they can't do the ride, and then we're like, oh.
Elaine, it's a dark ride in a building. I don't think... we have just discovered that Elaine and I have miscommunicated, and Elaine has not watched videos of the ride, which I thought she knew ahead of time, which I kept being like, what's your opinion on the ride? Elaine was like, uh-huh. So that explains how those conversations were going earlier. The ride is split into 2 segments. We have a boat ride along the Chocolate River, and then we have a glass elevator sequence with a pre-show for each. There was a lot of pre-show content. So interestingly, I assumed, because of when this ride opened 2006. So I assumed it was going to be kind of more closely related to the Johnny Wonka. Shockingly, it is like 100% inspiration from the book and the Quentin Blake illustrations, which I did not expect. Seeing Quentin Blake's Wonka in 3D form is shocking. I want you to know it's shocking. I warmed up to it by the end. I like him now.
I have a feeling I'm not going to like that.
I
have
don't
a feeling
think you're going to like
stuff
it.
Nightmares. Yeah.
Here's one interesting thing. This is our first canon British Wonka.
Oh.
Because if you think about it, we haven't had any other like canon British voice acted Wonkas or performed Wonkas. This guy's British as hell. He's so British. And I just think that's interesting. I was like, wait, we haven't had that
British.
He's so British. Wonka Watch. You can tell how like strapped we are for content when we're like, this Wonka's British? Oh my god, that's fucking crazy. Like, what are we doing? Anyway, okay, so this is the outside of the factory. They've basically done a book illustration of the factory, but in 3D form. Wow. It's very much like the outer facade. So you know if you turn around to the back of this building on like Google Earth, like if you ever do that with Disney, it's going to fuck you up. It's going to ruin the magic because you realize it's all facades and they're just these like white warehouses behind the building. That's very much what this is.
Yeah.
It's kind of got like, it kind of looks like it's made of something that would not withstand weather. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like if this
foam
would melt. Yeah, it feels like if it got rained on, it would melt.
Like theater foam, cardboard, quick sets, easy to move. Yeah, this does like one good breeze and that's all gone.
This looks like if you gave me like a year, I could probably make this. Do you know what I mean?
No. It's not bad. It's just not.
It's just.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's some random like there's the factory itself, and then what looks like a side warehouse on it, and then there's this front part that doesn't scientifically make sense to exist because it's like a doorway with windows in front, like coming out of the front of the factory, like a random stick out. I'm not gonna go after the architecture, because it's not my place, and it's gone anyway. So who cares? Okay, so I'm going to go and watch the pre-show right now.
No,
no. No, get out. Get off my fucking screen. His coattails are like a fucking like dragon lizard tail. Like those are not, it's like they are erect. Don't get closer to the screen. Oh my God. Charlie Bucket has 2 dots for eyes. Oh my God. This is disgusting. Wonka keeps like leaning in way too close into the camera with big eyes. It's like,
yeah, he's telling you, like, don't put your hands and feet outside the ride.
He just threatened the children if they don't follow the rules. Wow. Okay.
All right. So that's the animation kind of has a very like 2006 CD-ROM computer game vibe to it. I don't know, something about the color grading. It's very much, it's like when they didn't have control over what colors looked like in animation yet.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I'm pretty sure I've played video games like this. Like you said.
Exactly. It feels like a video game. You know what? It feels like a video game cutscene from like a Wii game. Like a Princess and the Frog Wii game. I'll be honest, I hated it at first. But then after I finished watching the pre-show, I was completely won over by this Wonka. I don't know why. I like him a lot. I think he's very fun.
I like his voice. I was going to say that voice. I liked his voice. His coattail, we really gotta, I can't emphasize how unsettling and uncomfortable it is that they're like curled back. Like, I don't know what that's about.
He basically just gives pre-show ride things. But it is funny, the way it opens is there's like a Wonka bar candy and he's sitting on it and his head is like on the side like a president on a coin. And then it opens and he's like, hello! Yeah. I was like, does he just stand like that when he's not talking to people?
It's just... I don't know. Like, I like it for what it is. I get, like, it's a good pre-show
You're not gonna like the rest of this because Wonka's the most palatable character design, so.
Lordy. Okay, we are now officially entering the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory point of view video.
There's also apparently in the room with the pre-show, there's like little portraits that light up when he talks about all the kids' names. It actually looks really fun. I'm gonna be honest, I want to ride this. This seemed cool. Like,
oh, man. Okay, I'm seeing the portraits, blah, blah, blah. God, his fucking coattails are up to his head. Sorry, it's just... Okay, here we go. We're on water. This is nice. I'm assuming it's supposed to be the Chocolate River, but everything's dark, so...
Yeah, you're kind of in the tunnel.
Okay, the music's kind of banging, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Give me the album.
They definitely went for a Danny Elfman music vibe. What are you scared at?
What is that horrifying thing on the left? Is that Augustus?
That's Augustus's mother.
Oh my God, she looks like she's holding a knife. Do you see what I'm saying? She looks like she's holding a knife.
Augustus is going up and down in the tube permanently. He's like a little animatronic boy. He does not move at all. He's just kind of going up and down slowly. And they play a fucking slide whistle.
The slide whistle was my favorite. That fucking broke me now.
I thought the chocolate room was pretty cool, well themed. Now we're going into the inventing room. The inventing room, I think, is like mid-tier. She's okay.
I think they could have had bubbles. We just have coils and like a big, like there's no bubbles. It's just like coils and like a giant bowl ball thing. And I'm like, there should be way more kooky things happening. Fake little electricity. Yeah,
you can't really see Violet in here, but I know it's terrifying.
Is it that ambiguous figure that's... Oh, Jesus. Yeah, oh my God, her head is not where I thought it would be.
So this is like a fucked up little blueberry dream sequence, very much like the Heffalump scene in the Winnie the Pooh ride at Disney World.
Why are there so many blueberries? I feel like we really could have like added something different. I'm not to come hating on the ride, but I mean, I feel like we could. There was a lot more than just more fucking blueberries. Oh, yeah. The camera's shaking as though we're in the Blair Witch Project and something's chasing us. The nut room. Ooh, goodness gracious.
The nut room sequence is interesting because to me, this was not themed well enough. It feels very much warehouse. You know what I mean? It feels like they ran out of money when we got to this part.
It's like, it just looks like a sack of potatoes is off to the left in a cardboard box. I hate that there are mirrors sometimes on this ride. I'd be like, oh dear God, don't show me. A lot of flashing lights right now. This looks like we're in the rundown, like, abandoned wing of the factory.
Literally.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing nut room stuff, really. Oh, I am seeing some horrifying video up ahead of children running and dancing, and I don't... Oh, no. They look like devils. What is that? Why do they have antennae? They have, like, giraffe horns.
That's just their hair.
Oh, my God.
To me, what I thought is they look like if Woodstock from Snoopy was turned into a person.
Oh, my God. Wait, yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly...
I see it. Oh,
okay. And now here's the super fucked up bit.
I hate. Oh my God, This is the stuff of nightmares.
They brutally animated the takedown of Veruca Salt by squirrels. She looks like a dead body. It's horrifying.
Like she was thrashing around, like convulsing.
And she was alive when they took her. Whoa, are we going into fucking hyper beam mode? Okay, now they're off. They're off. And now we're going into a queue. Isn't this fun? It's like you're riding the ride with us, except we aren't riding the ride, you know? So now we have another pre-show sequence, which we'll get a better look at later, of Willy Wonka and Mike TB and his mom. There's some horrifying commercials for Wonka products.
Okay, so this is glass elevator we're entering now?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so basically this whole room is filled with like TV screens, so it feels like you're moving around.
Yeah, I feel like this doesn't capture as well on video.
No, I think it must be one of those things where you're sitting and then they'll like tilt it up or whatever, and you might like...
Apparently just the floor rumbles. That's it.
Oh, okay. Wow, this is a mindfuck.
They really make Wonka's place feel like it's fucking... Like, it's got this Monsters, Inc. factory vibe. You're just going into different doors, and it looks like you're like floating through a huge void. It's fucking insane. Like this, there's a bunch of things on pillars just in a void, and then you go into a vault, and he's got like Scrooge McDuck level of fucking coinage.
Oh my gosh, it's very claustrophobic.
Yeah, that he's not putting into a bank. What the fuck is
all these bells? What is happening? I could see where this would like make someone sick, because this is going very fast, unnecessarily so.
Wonka's like, don't breathe, don't move a muscle, you're not allowed. And then you drop in a chocolate pipe.
We're getting baked. What the fuck is happening right now? Oh, I hope we go to hell. Oh,
you get shot out the ceiling. And honestly, the part where you get shut out the ceiling is pretty beautiful.
That's fun.
It looks really nice.
Oh, look at that beautiful sunset. This is cute. We're like floating over
the bucket town. Yeah.
Oh, well, now we're crashing through the factory again.
The ending's kind of lame, I'm going to be honest. It's very revisionist history, because they're like, no, he didn't crash the Bucket family shack, actually.
He didn't forcibly take them up into a hotel and then pretend that there were alien species.
Yeah.
But
so what are your overall thoughts on this?
I think that the original ride looked super fun, and it looked like a fun thing you might be able to take a kid on. I respect the software and technology they were working with when they first made this.
Yes.
But I do think it's a little scary, but I think they had the right energy in the characters. If you're going on a theme park, they need to be really poppy, loud, and wild and in your face. So I get that. I hate the coattails. The coattails are longer on the original like thing. And it's like they just start curling right at his waist. And I'm like, I don't understand what's happening here. And I know I can't. I should be able to get over it. Yeah. I'm so hung up on that. But the ride itself looked fun. Like you're just like,
I know.
I was boat. I love those kinds of rides.
I was going to be honest. I thought this ride, I thought I was going to hate it. I thought I was going to be really critical. But honestly, I kind of think they did a great job. Like I really don't have any, like I don't really know what else for like an actual theme park ride and not a Wonka Watch jokey ride. I feel like this is one of the best you could do. Do you know what I mean? I think it could have been a better, more themed, but it also just needed a bigger budget to do that.
Yeah. Like if they had a bigger budget, I would have loved to see more like fog and like things surprising you, you know? It kind of felt like a tour.
Oh God, what I would have loved is the chocolate river floods the factory so that you get to rush down the chocolate river through all these different parts of the factory that you didn't get to see through the movie. I think that's the one thing is like I kind of wish it was a little bit more inventive and took on like some new forms of the factory. So like you go through Wonka's office and like, oh, you go through an Oompa Loompa's house and there's one in the shower and like he's wearing like those funny like white and heart print boxers. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. If you've ever been on it, it's slow, but then you have a fast moment. You go down, and there's things happening. Like if there had been more movement,
you do not know my obsession with the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Girl,
ride.
I love that ride.
I want to smell that all day long.
I haven't been on that ride in 20 years, and I think about it all the time. So,
but it is funny because now it kind of feels like this horror ride when you watch it because there's all of these animatronics that are from like the 70s and have like barely been updated except for one hyper realistic almost human like Captain Jack Sparrow animatronic, and you're like, what is this man's life that he's that he's stuck in this town of people who say the same 4 words and move their hand like this back and forth all day long. God. And meanwhile he's like doing crazy movements and like peeking out of wells and shit. It's crazy. You know, like So yeah, I guess before let's I'm gonna get you the timestamp to watch for the other pre-show that happens before the glass elevator and the other video. Okay, so go to 6:17.
Okay, I'm gonna start at 6:13 just to get us in there. And here we go. Dislike. I hate everything right now. I don't like these. They're just too close to the screen and I'm scared. Yeah, why are they in my face? Oh, I don't like it. I mean, the Mike TV has always been horrible, but this is also, the mom is freaking out and throwing him around like a rag doll and now cuddling him like he's her favorite stuffed toy. Now she's shaking. It's a tiny human. Why would you shake it? We got some ring shit going on. The screen just went fuzzy for no reason.
I'm gonna be honest. You've convinced me. I was really watching his coattails the whole time. They're fucked up.
They're
so
like
he's got a fucking tail. He could those are teriyaki kebabs.
Yeah, they could be lower. Like there's no reason for them to be like that.
It looks like he's got a chassis. Like he's like halfway into being a centaur, but his coattails are gonna be the part of the centaur. You know. It all comes back to centaurs here.
They seem I feel like they have their own movement. You know. And when he's sad, they like curl under. He just this Wonka keeps going. Moving on. I just said something I shouldn't have. Oh God, moving on.
That's literally Wonka and every. That's a don't put that on him. That's Roald doing.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to come after your fave right now.
So now that we've watched the Alton Towers ride, taken that in, you know, had our adjustments, had our feelings, and thought about them. Elaine, what do you if you had to pitch a Wonka ride, what would you go for? Like if Alton Towers is like, fuck, we fucked it, we want another Wonka ride, we want one back, what are you pitching? What's your vibe? What's your thoughts?
Okay, so I have a couple like smaller ones, I feel like. I have a feeling I'm gonna be inspired by what you say as well.
Yeah, we're bouncing this back and forth. This is idea generation, this is brainstorming. You know.
Perfect. I don't think I have a perfect name for this yet, but as someone who was a professional roller coaster tycoon player, I did have to adjust a lot of these. I did write down Drop Zone, but you might die. And I was like, wait, no, this is not Roller Coaster Tycoon where I'm just trying to like ruin everything. Like, come on. So instead I thought of Sucker Punch. And it's where you get giant lollipops and you're like in safety gear and you get to beat each other up, but like in a fun way, like in a sock and bop it's kind of thing, you know? So you do that. But then I also thought of the rolled coaster. And it's a roller coaster and you're going through and it's very like spinny. And then suddenly in the middle, it just stops and there's a presentation discussing colonialism and racism. And then you finish out the ride having a ton of fun. You go through like a little water splash and then you get a little,
I love that.
The photo op happens right after you move past the presentation.
Yeah. And if you don't look deep in thought, people will judge you a little bit.
People will fucking judge you for what you're about. So that's yeah.
I actually just thought of some while you were talking. Perfect. So I was thinking when you were saying the lollipop thing, I was thinking like, you know, those like rides that are like the little hot air balloons that like spin around in a big circle.
Yes.
Those, but you're in a lollipop. I think that could be really cute.
Oh, I love that.
And then I came up with the name. I was thinking like maybe you do it with cotton candy and you could call it cotton candy cruisers. And I was like, no. You call candy cruisers. And those are those little cars you drive around that are on the preset track, which is my favorite ride in every theme park. And this is a fun deep fact about Felicia that I think you'll enjoy. The reason I liked them so much is I would use them as an improv scenario where I was a Cockney taxi driver taking my friends to their nearest location. And I would be yelling in a Cockney accent to go over the sound of the engine. And the problem was I was really bad at driving them. So it would be like bonk, bonk, bonk as it hits the thing on the bottom because I had no spatial awareness until I was about 16. And I didn't understand how to control the cars. And then every once in a while you'd be taken out of it because I'd be like, where we going, miss? And then there'd be a sign for like Interstate 20. And I'm like, ignore that. We're in London, babes. And it's like... this happened when I was like 9 and I'm like, no, we need to go on the ride so I can do my Cockney accent. What am I doing if I can't do my Cockney accent?
This is all I got.
This is all I have. This is all I want.
We forgot to ask, are you a big roller coaster person?
Here's the thing. I am and I'm not. Okay. Does that make sense? Like I'm very much I like a water slide and sometimes I have to go to a water slide before I go on a roller coaster to like prime me. Log flumes are my favorite. I can't go on any ride that goes backwards though, because it makes me feel like I'm gonna puke immediately. I went on what is it, Expedition Everest once, and it was the worst fucking experience of my life. I was like, I'm never fucking doing that to myself again. But honestly, I just like a big drop. Like log flumes are my ideal. I don't like a drop tower. A log flume is my perfect ride. And that's why I talk about them so much. It all comes back to the log flume.
It's all about the log. That's really the only reason why we're doing this episode.
I love a water ride, and I love the smell of stagnant amusement park water. I love it so much. And being able to do that, like, that's the important thing to me, is a water ride.
What would a Wonka log flume ride be like?
I was thinking about I actually wrote this. Okay, so here's the thing. I didn't come up with a Wonka thing, but I thought, we have the chocolate lazy river. I brought that up in a previous episode. Got to bring it back here. It's obvious, but it's good. It should exist.
Oh, hell yeah.
But here's the thing. You have the Augustus Gloop shock tube spin or something like that, and it's an insane tube slide that you go in, and right, because he goes through the tube. Isn't that great? Isn't that such a good idea?
I love that. Actually, I feel like a lot of like Wonka water park, I think there's a lot you can do there.
You could have like those awesome things that are like those huge towers that are like so fucking fun that you climb through and get water dunked on you. I feel like that's so fucking Wonka,
Oh, hell yeah.
I feel like you could do it where the Oompa Loompas designed it, and you could do like the Oompa Loompa village, and they're just playing little pranks on you all the time you're there. I feel like that'd be great.
So good. Or I love the idea of like a zip line, and you can play into the glass elevator with that. And so you know what my favorite ride? So when I went to Disney, it was a journey. I was 5 years old, 6, and I'd never been to Disney, and I was so excited. And we drove down, 3-day journey down there. Woof. Stay there for a hot second, 3-day journey back. And I was sick the entire time. I need a redemption trip, but I still had a magical time. But anyway, that's all to say that I was a little rough around the edges when I went there. So my favorite ride was the one where you just like sit and you get to tour around the whole like amusement park in like a little open cart. Like you're just sitting and you're like, oh, look, there's the park. And I want that, but glass elevator. So you just get to, for people who want a chill time and they're not into it at all.
Was that the People Mover?
I don't remember. Possibly. I was 6 years old, so I don't know.
If it was at the Magic Kingdom and it was in the spacey part, then it was the People Mover.
Okay, it was blue. Had blue cart.
It is in the People Mover.
Oh my God. Okay. My grandma and I were on that all the whole time.
I love the People Mover. And I similarly took inspiration from a Disney ride for mine, which is, I think all these rides are well and good, but we also need a ride for boring people. I think that's an important part of every theme park, is to have the ride that's like, you just kind of sit there and you don't even move. Like you are just watching something. And we're going to be taking cue from one of my favorites at Disney World, which is the Carousel of Progress, which is a thing basically unchanged from like the 60s World Fair, of just this old Southern guy telling you about technology. And that's it. It goes on for 30 minutes.
Oh my
and
gosh.
You sit in a theater and you watch the same family go through time and technology, but every time it shifts, they don't age. And you're like, how the fuck is this? It's fucking crazy.
Tuck everlasting shit right there.
Actually, they do age, but they age at a weird pace that doesn't make sense.
Good.
Like,
great.
It's like, oh, we're in 2020. I'm like, you were in the 1940s like 4 minutes ago. And you're like 80. What the fuck? That doesn't... Wait, does that...
What's
no,
going on?
He was 40 in the beginning. So let me clarify. He was like 40 in the beginning. It doesn't make sense. You already had kids. And your kids are now like 8. Like, what the... Not 8. Like 28? What the fuck? It doesn't make sense. Okay. I like it a lot. It's just something I've really enjoyed. You basically just watch a lot of animatronics talk about refrigerators.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. And I think a Wonka version of that, where he's talking about candy, could be really fun. I don't know.
I would love a, I'm thinking about it too.
Chocolate Spies ride.
Chocolate Spies ride. I could see that being like one of those rides where you have the laser gun in your car and you have to go around and you see how many points you get for like, you know,
you could also,
shooting
there was
things.
at Disney World for a few years, you could do this thing. I don't know if it's still around, where you would take a phone that you would pick up from stations and you would solve these little mysteries on this like basically burner phone Disney gave you for like a day. And it was originally themed around Kim Possible, and now it's themed after Phineas and Ferb. But if you did a Wonka version of that, where you were like gathering intel for Pickle Grubber.
I want a Wonka escape room.
Oh my God.
Like a 2-hour-long experience, immersive.
Oh my God. I want that so fucking bad.
I want a Wonka escape room so badly I'm gonna cry. I love escape rooms. I know. If I had to tell you, like, you love log flumes, I love my dog, and then I love escape rooms.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it goes. I love nothing more than pretending that I am a detective sleuth and believing that I can solve anything.
I've done a few escape rooms, and my problem is we were in a dark one and they had to take the flashlights away from me because I kept shining it in people's eyes because I don't have any spatial awareness. Oh God. It wasn't on purpose, but when I turn, the flashlight turns. They're like, stop looking at me. It's like,
my friends and I are like almost perfect. We were thinking about this. We're like, so there's like beer league softball and kickball and stuff. Like, can we have like a escape room team? Because we basically are, and we are so far undefeated. I'm also the person, I always take apart everything. Because if you've never done an escape room, there's a bunch of puzzles in there, and sometimes there are things you interact with, and they will put in red herrings. So for example, I once not painstakingly, I just like immediately took apart this chair because I could, and then it turned out we didn't need it whatsoever. There's also been times where I've just straight up, there was something in the ground you were supposed to use to like pull up the like wooden plank of the floor, and I just went in with my bare gnarly hands and ripped it up. And then we were like, later we got this like crowbar, we're like, what's this for? And then we're like, oh, that was supposed to be used for that. And Elaine just saw like I saw the tiniest little suggestion that didn't belong there, and I just went
I once solved a puzzle, but then couldn't physically open the lock. Like I solved it and unlocked it, but I couldn't open it. Like, and the guy came on the speakers and was like, "You need to pull harder." And I was like, "Shut up! Don't say that to me."
I love when the people, again, if you haven't done this, there's always like a coach person watching you, and then you usually get like 3 hints if you want it. And sometimes if you're really close, they just give you a freebie, or if there is like something where you can't pull the lock or whatever. God, there was one where we could just tell they were like, "Oh, these idiots." They were like, we were supposed to like rub our hands together to use the heat to like reveal something, and we kept trying to like use the black lights, and again we were doing the math as well, and they were like, "Oh, just rub your hands together," and then we didn't like do it harder. I was like, so it's just a bunch of grown-ass adults rubbing their hands and then just slapping them up on the board over there. Anyway, we should make a Wonka escape room.
I love that,
and I'm gonna totally focus in on that to escape my life. I love it.
I also think Wonka Fun House with funny little mirrors.
The House of Mirror Glaze.
I love that. Wait, but also like, you know, like how some theme parks will have like a big, like kind of just like a big warehouse that's kind of like a bunch of weird things you can interact with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like Wonka would be perfect for that.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I don't know. I think Wonka has a lot of untapped potentials of theme park rides. And like, I have been to the Candy theme park. I've been to Hershey Park. Okay. You know, I've been to Hershey Park many a time. There is a chocolate dark ride, which used to be great and now is shitty, in my opinion. It's this free dark ride you can ride.
What's a dark ride?
So a dark ride is like when you're on a boat. This is my my theme park special interest showing up. A dark ride is any ride where you're on a vehicle and it's slow moving and you're basically looking at scenery. So the first half of this was a dark ride. What we watched today, that was a dark ride when it was all in the dark and you're on the boat. So like Pirates of the Caribbean is a dark ride. Any ride where it's mostly dark is a dark ride.
Okay, but if there's light, it's not a dark ride.
Yeah, so like if you're outside,
it's a small world ride, whatever that one is, doesn't count because it doesn't
it would still be a dark ride on the inside because it's inside. Also,
can you imagine 6-year-old me watching that with all the animatronic robot things?
Girl, you would die.
Oh, I did.
It's a Small World was my favorite.
But I loved that song though. That was my favorite song. It slapped. It was that, and then my Dolly Parton like best hits cassette tape were my faves.
Yeah. I loved that. I loved the Peter Pan ride where you just like fly over the little city. I guess that's about it. Okay, do you have any other? What are I
had a bunch of words with no thoughts.
Okay, read them out. I'm here.
Swing. I wanted there to be a swing.
That is a word.
I don't know why.
Silly string swings.
Ooh, I love that.
I will say I went on the swings and had the worst panic attack of my life.
Oh, I freaking love the swings. I always feel majestic as fuck. The wind blowing through my hair. I'm like, I ride forward upon my dragon. And then they're like, ma'am, can you let the 5-year-old sit? And I'm like, yeah, which is mine. Another one is just runts punch. Hyphen. Punch fruit? Question mark.
Okay. Well, that's okay. Hold on. I feel like you've already done a violence-based ride. I feel like we can't
Sucker punch. I made it better with sucker punch.
Okay. Runts punch, you know, runts. A bunch of runts.
Runaway runts. And it's bumper cars.
Oh, fuck yeah, perfect.
Bumper boats. Bumper boats are supreme. Have you ever been on a bumper boats ride?
No, I would fucking love it though.
Bitch, they're the best.
I love boats and I love bumper cars.
An escape room where at one point you have to get on the ride and collect the clues on the ride. You have to get on a boat to go to the different islands to gather the necessary things to then do the escape room.
Are you good?
I just had the best thought of my life. Screw my career. I'm putting all of my
money on the bumper boats escape room.
An escape room where you
get on a little boat halfway through and like travel to a dinky fucking island.
In an escape room, you start in one room and then you end up in a second room. It's a big reveal, right? But no, you do that, but then all of a sudden there's a secret river in the cave. And you have to get in your bumper boats and you have to go on. Oh my god, it'd be so insane! I like it all a weekend experience escape room.
Are you okay?
At some point, you unlock your passport and it's just a ticket, and then you're in a different country.
Are you okay?
Like, oh my god, so fucking excited. My abs are cramping. I laughed too hard.
I think it's a fantastic idea, but I'm very lost. But I love it. You know, I'm not actually that lost. I think I was able to follow along. But it does sound like the way you said it. It sounded like I edit out 5 minutes from each time. Like your brain was going so
that was just
fast.
me. Like every
it was
idea.
Like I could see the boats traveling by your mind. Like very like overlay, like when they do the math. You know, when it shows up in front of their head.
That is what happened. I left.
Oh
I'm
my
back.
god. That does sound incredible. Bring it to Shark Tank. Actually, don't bring it to Shark Tank.
Fuck the sharks. I'll bring it to the Lion's Den. Thank you for bringing this into my life, though. I'm so glad I got to learn that there was a Wonka ride, and then you brought that inspiration. So I appreciate it.
Okay, let's go to predictions. I feel like we know there's a carnival, so I feel like this is a good time. Maybe we can dial in a little on the carnival.
Hell yeah.
I don't want to take your boat thing from you.
No, take it.
I would say I got somebody rides on a comically small boat. I think that's fair.
Oh, I love it.
That's valid. We've seen them on.
Keys character would be hilarious. In a
oh my god, in a little tiny boat. Wait, actually though, with how Wonka works, that actually would not surprise. With how Wonka works, with how Paddington is structured and written. There's Oompa Loompa and Wonka. They're on the paddle boards that we've seen them on. Then Keegan-Michael Key steals a boat from a bumper boats thing and puts it in the water and starts chasing after them. Wouldn't that be fucking incredible?
God, that'd be so good.
I feel like that could happen. And if they didn't, Paul King, you've still got time to fix it.
You still got time to get it in there. I think there's going to be a fortune teller at the fair that's going to say something mystical that everyone's like, what? I don't understand why that happens. And everyone thinks she's a phony. But then that tiny thing that she says will like be a huge thing at the very end.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, that would be good.
Yes. I love it. And then also yours made me think that I think because we believe Matt Lucas and Keegan-Michael Key are in cahoots possibly.
Yes.
We're not sure, but they're like
I thought you were going to say in love. And I was like, I didn't think we talked about that.
My name's Elaine and I want everyone to be in love in the Wonkaverse. If you haven't noticed, I ship literally everyone.
Yeah, Elaine's writing slash fiction on the daily.
Wait until you hear my Roald Dahl Wonka not Wonka. Oh god, no. Willy Wonka and Roald Dahl, not us. Anyway, move on. Oh god, delete. I like an idea. Same idea. They're driving in that truck, pretending to be like the fish people, whatever. And every time they try to both get in the trunk, it's a tiny like car thing, and they squish against each other, and it's just like a whole shuffling thing.
That'd be fun. I could see that. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode. I think it's been a real fun one. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, experiences riding the Alton Towers ride, we'd absolutely love to hear it. You can send us an email at wonkawatch@gmail.com.
Wonkarapture@gmail.com.
Yep. Thank you.
Unfortunately, whoever fucking took Wonka Watch, we're still after you. Fuck you. But I want people to send us their ride ideas also. I'm sure we inspired
Send us your ride ideas. I want to hear those so bad.
In depth. Bring it.
In depth. Tell us about it. Tell us if you want to invest on Elaine's bumper boats. I'm Barney Sanders. Bumper boats escape room ride. Award-winning comedy podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Award-winning.
Booty. Make sure you follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Wonka Watch. And if you want to support this podcast, you can go to Buy Me ko-fi.com/wonkawatch. And, after all of the, literally my stomach cramping because I almost shat myself with such an amazing idea. And after horrific coattail curls, it's really not that important.
It's not that important. Bye, everybody.
Bye, bye, bye.